Hey guys, this is Sean Waller, also known as Sean Your Realtor. Continue to educate yourself because this business is always evolving. Just continue to learn. With it. Talk to you guys later. All right. Now, for my fourth episode of the Strictly Free Game podcast, I got my guy who's like a brother to me right now. I got Mike Titino, Safety First Home Inspections. I'll let him give his intro. Go on, my brother.
I mean, Sean kind of said it. I mean, Sean and I connected, I'd say about a year ago now, right?
Yeah.
Give or
Yeah.
take. Yeah, so Sean and I had connected about a year ago. I was very persistent into gaining Sean's trust, which luckily I did. And Sean has been one of the top realtors that hires me consistently. And Sean has definitely been a major impact in my career so far for many reasons. One, he was my 100th home inspection.
Yes, sir.
Two, thank you very much for that. Number two, he was my 100th Google review as well. Thank you again for that. And just showing up to the dinners that I've hosted to just kind of bring everyone together once a month. Sean's definitely been there. So now that he has his own platform, which I feel like I'm taking over right now, which
keep going. You're a pro with this. Mike has his own podcast as well, so he's a pro with this now.
but now that Sean has his own podcast show, the least I can do is be a guest and obviously show my support. So I'm definitely happy, and I'm definitely looking forward to watching your journey.
I appreciate it, bro. And I honestly couldn't go on this journey without guys like you in my corner. So come on, man. You know how deep the relationship goes, man. I really appreciate you for everything that you do. Let's get into the Mike Titino story though. Give me a little background, or give the people a little background because I pretty much know it. So give the people a little background on your journey.
So I'm actually from Long Beach. I went to high school there. I graduated, and right out of high school, actually a year out of high school, my 19th birthday was my first day in the Carpenters Union. So I started out as a union carpenter, and I was there for 6 years. I graduated the 4-year apprenticeship, and then I spent 2 years as what's called the journeyman. And then after that, what ended up happening was I was commuting into work, and a friend of mine recommended that I started reading books. At the time, I wasn't adamant about reading, but he told me, read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I said, okay.
Dope book.
Read that book in 24 hours. And I started utilizing the Long Island Railroad going to and from work, just reading and reading. And then typically what happens in the union, there's you get laid off, the job ends, every trade goes through it some way, one way or another. And the last time that happened, this is after I've been reading for months, and just my mind started evolving from these books. And then I got laid off for the last time. The job was slow, and I just never looked back. And then that's when I dove into entrepreneurship, which is it's not for everyone, because you have to have the right mind frame of persistence and discipline and determination. There were definitely times I didn't know when the next deal was coming in. So I like to share that part more than just make my own hours. I get to do what I want. I get to, that does come with it to an extent, but you really have to put the time and effort,
Yeah, entrepreneurship is not easy at all, man. And especially
Definitely
when people think like I can make my own hours, I could go on vacation when I want to. Well, man, that's furthest from the truth. Definitely, especially when you're first starting out. So you started off as doing contract, or not contract, right? You start off in the union, and then you gradually went to contracting, right?
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know this, but I actually have my real estate license for I'd say about a year, and I sold a few houses too. I did that for about a year. Then I transitioned into contracting. I actually partnered up with a childhood friend of mine as well. And then we did that. We flipped a few houses. I've been a part of a few real estate transactions as well. So looking back from, I'd say about 25 to 30, I kind of jumped around a little bit, all within the same industry, you know, real
Mhm.
estate, contracting, um, just to get my feet wet. It's kind of like dating, you know, sometimes you have to date around a little bit to see who's the right fit, you know?
Yeah.
Um, some people start their first business and that's it. Other
Mhm.
people might have to try things out that may not fit their personality, their, you know what I mean? So that was definitely me until I got my home inspection license. Now it just took off, man.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, of course.
No, no, man. Listen, your hard work precedes everything. Like, Mike and I first met. I don't. I remember meeting you when you had your real estate license. I think we spoke about that before.
Get out of here.
Yeah, we met at one of your listings. I think it was in Rockville Center. I could be wrong. It was a corner house. You never forget a face. But anyway,
Yeah.
we met. I think we connected a year ago, like you said. I think it was like through Facebook or something like that, something random.
I
And
have a story about that, but we'll go I'll
okay,
let you finish. Right. Go ahead.
all right. So yeah, we met through Facebook. Glad you started talking. I think you came to an open house that I was at, and I was like, this guy's a hustler, man. I don't think you were as busy as you are now. I think this is when you first started out. So I'm like, this guy's going to open houses, introducing himself to the agents. A lot of people in your field don't do that. A lot of entrepreneurs don't do that in general. They sit back and kind of wait for the business to come to them. I was like, this dude Mike is a hustler, man. I respect the hell out of it. So definitely kudos to you for that. But I'll let you get to the story that you was about to say. I'm curious to hear this.
That's actually the funny thing is that the first time I remember meeting you, I believe it was at your listing. I want to say it was in Deer Park, or maybe you had a listing or something like
I think it
that
was the
in
Bayshore. I think it was
or
Bayshore.
Bayshore, yeah. So I remember the first time we first met, and when I go to these open houses to meet realtors for the first time, it's almost like I have to give my elevator pitch where, you know, I have to introduce myself, give my brochure, my information. Now, sometimes what happens is I would meet realtors and I could tell by their body language, like, who is this guy? Like I'm not going to trust a guy that I just met at an open house to do my client's home inspection. And the first time we met, I don't want to say I gained your trust the first time, which is understandable, but like you said, I think it was like literally like the following weekend, I showed up to another open house, and
Mhm.
you pulled up with your buyers, and we saw each
Yes.
other again. That's when you were like, this guy's not joking. Like,
Yeah.
this guy's serious. Like,
I think you were working the open house with the agent, right? I think you were there helping the
no,
agent.
the one we ran into each other at, I was doing the same thing I did at yours the previous weekend,
Oh,
and
okay.
I was giving my pitch to, you know, licensed home inspector, and then you pulled up. I was like, I just saw this guy a week ago, and that's when you were like, all right, this guy is for real. Like, this guy's here to stay. So yeah, that's really been everything I've done up to this point. It is just a serious level of just discipline, determination. And I always use social media, especially my stories, to broadcast my schedule of waking
Mhm.
up at 4 a.m., reading every day, the importance of, you know, your health, your fitness, just to show people that when I hit these milestones that I've been hitting, once again, thanks to you guys, uh, it takes a lot of work. It takes
Yeah.
a lot of work.
Yeah. And if you follow Mike on social media, you'll see like this guy's up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's running
Whatever it
now. I
takes.
think the weather's getting better, so he's outside running, lifting weights,
Whatever.
reading. Your definite your motivation to the 10th power. Let's get back into your home inspection business. What
Sure.
got you into the field of being a home inspector? What made you say, I'm going to try this field?
You want to laugh? So I actually know a friend of mine who is a home inspector, but he's more part time. I don't even think he does it anymore, honestly. It was one of those things he was doing on his side, you know. And at that particular time, when I was in the contracting business, I realized that when you're a contractor and you're not actually doing the work, because my job was to get more jobs, because
Mhm.
I feel like I have a niche for sales and people and gaining people's trust. So that was my job, was to go on estimates and things like that. But what ends up happening when you're a contractor is if something goes wrong, you're taking the blame for everybody else's actions. And I was just tired of, just babysitting grown men, guys showing up late, things like that. And I don't take showing up late lightly because I'm up at 4 a.m. So there's no
Yeah,
way.
there's no excuse.
If you live
if you're
half
up
an
for it.
hour from your job and you're still late, like things like that would just constantly, kind of, it made me realize that maybe this isn't my calling per se, just
Mhm.
because of just so many factors that I felt like were I wasn't in control of. So around that same time, my buddy was telling me that he got his home inspection license, and I figured, I'm like, all right, I'm somewhat known in the real estate industry as a contractor, and I was just like, if I get my license, I could definitely scale this business with my network, my knowledge in construction, in real estate, my people skills. And I feel like people who are venturing out into entrepreneurship, you should definitely pick a field that suits your personality.
Mhm.
If you're not a people's person, it might not be your best bet to become a real estate agent or
Yeah.
become, you know, uh, a salesperson and things like that. So you kind of have to figure out what it is you're good at, and it
Mhm.
matches who you are as a person.
Yeah. I actually have a lot of people that come to me that they tell me they want to become a real estate agent, and you know that they're not people person. Like, dude, you're not a people
They're not,
person at
yeah.
all. So why would you do that? They think that it's fast money. Like I said, we said
Not,
before,
no,
own
definitely not.
schedule, all that stuff. It never works out that way. But you've changed, in my perspective, you've changed the way that people view home inspectors. I mean, back in the days, home inspectors usually older people, male, female. Um, they didn't really do a lot of marketing like you do, especially with social media. And I always say, I'm like, yo, Mike, you have your own, like, you're at your own level right now. What keeps you going? Because so just to give a little background, Mike is a one-man show. Like, you don't really have a team that you have under you
Yet,
right now, right?
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because I'm doing it all on my own momentum as of right now, because I want to learn everything there is to know about the inspection business before I start scaling. Because the last thing I want to do is start hiring left and right, and then if I don't know my own industry from A to Z, front to back, I feel like that would be a disservice to my future clients and colleagues. So eventually I will get to a point which is like almost happening now, where I'm getting, a lot of volume, which
Mhm.
I'm extremely grateful for. But I definitely want to know the ins and outs before actually scaling, but it will happen though.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. That's gonna probably be in your 2021 journey. You got to let it go a little bit, right? It's like dropping your kids
Yeah,
off at
yeah.
daycare.
So, yeah, and it goes back to what I said about, you have to do something that matches your personality. So for those who don't know, um, if you look me up on Instagram, I don't just have a picture of an outlet that says, oh, this is how an outlet works,
Mhm.
or a boiler. Like, that's boring. And I'm a home inspector saying that myself, like, that's pretty boring stuff. But I personally add my own personality into it. I
Mhm.
film myself so people know who it is that they're going to be hiring, and then I also throw some humor into it to show people like I'm a human being too. I'm
Yeah,
not just a
it's
working
not all
robot.
business. Yeah, it's not all business.
Yeah,
People like to see
I'm a
that.
person at the end of the day.
Yeah. So and Mike gives a lot of free game too, because you drop daily like tips, which a lot of
Every
a lot
day.
of people don't do as well.
Yeah.
What made you start
Well,
doing that?
so that's a great question, because when I first started out as an entrepreneur, I made the mistake of having the mentality of get and get, meaning when you're first starting out, you're almost in survival mode. Like, I need to get business, I need to pay overhead bills, this and that expenses. And the problem that I did, I'm sorry, the mistake that I made early on was, um, I was only looking to get business
Mhm.
because I had,
Yeah,
that
overhead.
that was
Yeah.
my first instinct. But now I realize that, one of the main things that has made me get my business up to this point is just giving out and just giving, free game, like you say, and just give out knowledge and help and things like that. And ever since I've been doing that, I feel like it's been coming back tenfold. So
Yeah, without a
um,
doubt.
definitely recommend, put other people first, and it'll definitely, come back.
Yeah, you'll definitely be rewarded at the end. Um, so the question I really have for you today, right, is you always get pushback from people. They say, "Listen, I don't want to buy a house. It's too much overhead. I'm not handy. I'm too scared to do it." What advice would you give to like the first time home buyer? What things should they look at in a house prior to buying, right? And after they purchase that home, what should they do to upkeep the home,
Maintain. Yeah,
maintain it?
sure. So, um, in my reports, I not only point out defects, but even if things are in working order, I'll still put, for example, you want to maintain your hot water heater, your boiler, your the central air, HVAC. You want to, just the mechanicals of the property. You want to make sure that you're getting it serviced annually. It's almost like a car. If you don't maintain your vehicle, things are going to go, over time.
Mhm.
Another thing is you want to recaulk around the windows. You want to, check the chimney flashing every year to make sure that there's no moisture intrusion, things like that. What I see often too, I'd say 9 out of 10 of my home inspections, one, the bedrooms don't have any smoke detectors. That's a major
Mhm.
hazard.
A lot of people don't even
And
think of that.
exactly. And another thing too is, the downspouts, which are connected to the gutter. So every time it rains, the water goes in the gutter into the downspout. They don't have what's called a splash block underneath the elbow. So when it rains, it just pitches the water further away from the house just to
Mhm.
avoid any moisture intrusion. Because I can't tell you how many basements I've went down in, and there's just mold, there's water stains because the water's not being pitched away from the
Mhm.
house. It's a major issue.
Yeah, yeah, and that's it's if you follow up with this stuff every once in a while, you'll be fine over the length of a home,
Yeah.
and hire the pros if you don't know how to do it yourself. But just to do the small things here and there would definitely help you out in the long run.
And that's why I post these things on my Instagram platform. So even if I don't get hired, they can still follow my page and be informed on things that I look out for, because, you've been there too. If I find something in the house, I'm automatically pulling my phone out and say, "Hey guys, I just found this.
Hmm.
Look out for X, Y, and Z. Make sure your house, um, and that's every aspect of the house, not just electric, not just heat. It's everything,
It's everything. Yeah.
inside, outside, in the attic, in the crawl space. So my page, my content is pretty well rounded.
Yeah. And I just put and this market now is just insane. So how are you keeping up with the demand and getting accepted offer today? Mike, I mean, I've had situations where Mike was there the same day. Like that's just
Yeah.
unheard of. Like, how do you keep it going?
Yeah. So, well, luckily, I have other inspectors that I work with that they cover me in the event where I can't be at 3 home inspections at once, because I still want to be the point of reference to, show whether it's home buyers, real estate agents, that I could still get it done. Maybe not me physically being there, but my team, the people that I work with and trust, they can have it covered.
Mhm. And you don't always need a home inspector just if you're a buyer. If you're selling your home, you should get a pre-inspection as well, because that can help you down the line. Is if there are any issues, you can take care of it there. When that buyer gets a home inspection, they're not trying to come back to you later, to
Yep.
renegotiate or to have you fix issues, that you could have corrected prior to listing it.
That actually happened recently, where I did a pre-home inspection for a listing agent, and I would say a week later the house automatically went under contract because the market's so hot right now. And
Hmm.
I followed up with him to just see, what did the buyer's inspector find? He literally said nothing. He said they signed, because I addressed these things up front prior to the house even hitting the market. So
Hmm.
once I gave the report, they knew they had to, put detectors in the bedrooms. They needed a fire rated door for the boiler room, things like that. So, they had that fixed. They put the house on the market. The buyer placed their offer, had their home inspector come. He didn't find anything.
Yeah. And that could save you thousands. The few $100s could save you thousands of
Yes.
dollars in the end. Because especially if they
Yeah,
had a
because
savvy agent, they could try to
yes,
they could try to
they'll chew you
renegotiate
down.
you thousands of dollars
Absolutely.
down.
Big
right?
time. Absolutely. Yeah. So I always recommend that, just to see what you're up against. Now, same scenario. Let's say you get a pre-listing home inspection done. There are issues, but maybe the seller doesn't have the money to repair these things. Then you just price it accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
You could still stay firm at your asking price because you already factored in, the things that need to be fixed.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's a
Now, Mike is
win-win.
definitely, he's like I said, he's my go-to guy for, I need an inspection. I'm calling Mike right away. Like his
Thank
one's
you. Thank you.
the first number to go out. Um, what I mean, it's your personality, but have you always been the type of guy that always networked? Because I noticed that you have a huge network of agents, attorneys. Like Mike is just
Yeah. So
the guy to go to for everything.
so so I'm definitely going to say this on record. Yes, I feel like I've always been that way, but it definitely has to go to my close friend who's no longer here anymore, Zach Stone. I know if he was watching this right now, he'd be so proud of me right now. But when I was with him, he was so outgoing that his energy was so contagious
Hmm.
that I used to feed off of that. And because of him, for those who may not know, um, uh, I always get out of my comfort zone. So with some people, networking, they're very scared to approach someone at a networking event. They're very nervous, things like that. But you got
That's
to
me.
think
I'm
about
not a
it.
big networker. I'm not at all.
Let me tell you, there are so many opportunities in networking, whether it's in person. Obviously COVID had you know um, put a halt to that to an extent, but you could DM people, message them on Facebook, things like that. You could engage in social media, but I feel like networking for me is just so natural because I'm just a people's person. So
Mhm.
there's no issue for me to walk up to someone and pass out my card and stuff like that. So
Yeah. That's why I definitely I'm like, yo, good thing I know Mike because Mike has put me in front of a lot of people, man. So I definitely thank you all the time for especially for like those dinners and things that you do put together because since you started doing those dinners, I've met some dope agents, man. Like people that I could honestly
really,
say that I could call them anytime. I'm actually working on a
yeah,
deal with one now, and it just feels so
get
much
out of here.
easier. Yeah, me and Beth are actually
Yeah.
working on something right now.
Wait, you met Beth at to dinner?
That was the first time I met Beth. That was the first time I
Get
met
out!
Beth,
I didn't even know that.
Walt, yeah, Femi, Charles, like Eric,
Wow,
everybody.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, um, I try to use what I'm doing uh, to make it more personal because yes, I'm a home inspector. That's a given, but I'm very passionate about what I do. So I want to take it to another level, and that's why I host those dinners. So the people I'm working with can feel like we're all one big family in a sense where it's not all about work.
Hmm.
We're we're all working hard for our clients. We're all on this journey to be successful. I feel like the journey is even better when you feel like when you're doing it with friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not just colleagues.
Hmm. And the dinners are never always about work, work, work. That's why I enjoyed them.
It's
It's
like the
never about
opposite.
that. Yeah, we never
No,
really talk about work like that.
like it's not like we sit down and say, "Oh, the market is no." That's
Mhm.
like the last thing we even want to talk about. Like,
Yeah, yeah, for
you
real. And
know,
everybody just gels. We have like an hour, 2 hours, and just kicking it, man. It's
and it's
always
not
always a
awkward
good
either.
experience.
Like, there's no like awkward side. Like everyone connects. Like, there's not one person like, oh, I wish I didn't come here because I don't know. Like, it's nothing like that.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope, bro. Trying to think. So let's get back to your social media. So your social media, what's I mean, first let's pitch your podcast because we have to pitch that. What is the name of your podcast? How can people get to your podcast? Mike is my
So
guy, so we're pitching everything on this podcast.
thank
Go
you.
for
So I have a podcast show called the Safety First Podcast Show, and my guests, they all range from people who are at the top of their business. My first guest was handsome home buyer. He's the number one fix and flip investor on all of Long
Shout out to
Island,
Handsome.
and yes, and I have guests that range from being at the top to just starting out, and they're all sharing their story, tips, advice, mistakes they made, uh, you know, things, um, things that they should have done differently, things like that. And you really get to know these people on a personal level too.
Mhm.
And I feel like each and every guest, they add value to my audience. So that's my overall goal.
Yeah. And I
Just
appreciate that.
add
Like you
value.
said, you start from it doesn't matter where you're at in your career. I've seen I watched so many of them so far, and I'm like, I like the range that you're doing because some
Yeah.
people just keep chasing the top, keep chasing the top, but you're showing
No.
the people that aren't there yet, they get to document their journey, which,
Yes.
yes,
And I like to have the underdogs too, because you get to see how hungry they are, how determined they are to, you know, because I asked my guests on my show, like, what's your goal for next year, 5 years? And then, you know, when they say it, you just see the passion and, like they're going to do whatever it takes to make their vision become their reality. And one last thing I will say just about my podcast show is that so I've received multiple messages, throughout the course of me utilizing social media about how my work ethic is like inspirational, things like
mhm.
that. People have messaged me saying that they're now waking up uh, earlier now, that they're reading more books now, things like that. But
I have to get there, bro. I'm trying to wake up earlier.
but I have a I have an episode coming out probably within, what are we in, March right now? Probably at the end of March, early April. I actually brought my mother on my show,
That's
and
dope.
we go into like my entire upbringing, and people are going to really learn why I'm the way that I am as far as my work ethic goes. And that's one episode that I really hope people watch and take something from that if I can come from certain circumstances and just have a certain perspective, if I can do it, then anybody can. So
Yeah. And that's why I respect what you're doing, because you could tell some people that had it a little easier than other people,
right.
and some people that just work their ass off just to get where they're at.
Yeah. And I actually shed light on that when I was on Handsome Homebuyers podcast show about my upbringing, but I felt like I didn't really dive into it. And I only said maybe a few sentences about it. And just off of that little clip, I got multiple messages. And
Mm.
I felt like I didn't do those people justice by like really diving into, so that's why I'm looking forward to, if they're inspired by that little clip from that show, then a full episode, I feel like, will hopefully make an impact.
That's amazing, bro. I can't wait to see it. Honestly, personally, I can't wait to see that because no one knows you
Next
better
month.
than Mama Love. So that's
Yeah,
going to be a good
man.
one. That's
Yeah.
going to be a good one.
Definitely.
What advice would you give to someone that's, because you're a social guy, right? Everyone's not really social, especially when it comes to social media. A lot of people
Yeah.
are like me. Prior to the end of 2020, I didn't do any videos. Like, I never liked to have my face in the camera. It wasn't my thing. This whole the podcast is me just going.
Podcast shit, yeah. I was gonna say.
I'm getting completely out of my comfort, bro. I said 2021 is no such thing as comfort for me anymore. If it scares me,
Good.
I'm going straight forward. I'm running towards it. Um, what
And
advice
look where it's bringing you.
was that?
And look where getting out of your comfort zone is taking you now.
Yeah,
Right?
without a doubt. Without a doubt, man. It's opening. I get a lot of like DMs and stuff now too. People telling me like, listen, I admire what you're doing. Keep going. What advice would you
Exactly.
give to me? But
Yeah,
it's amazing, man. Like it's really
absolutely.
amazing. What advice would Mike Titino give to someone that's starting their social media journey?
It's funny because I've actually told people this that are newly licensed real estate agents. First thing is you have to be active every single day.
Mm,
Because look, social media, I want to say specifically Instagram. Um, Everyone's on it 24/7, right?
mhm.
Utilize that. I can't stand when people say like, "Oh, I don't have time for social media. I don't have time." Like, they make it seem like they're almost too good to, "Oh, I barely post once a month."
Yeah, but they're looking, but
That
they're
means
scrolling.
that, listen, if you don't have time to be on social media, then that translates to, I'm okay with missing opportunities on Instagram. Let me tell you something. About 80 to 85% of my referrals are strictly from Instagram.
Really?
People hire people hire me just from Instagram that don't even know me because they feel like they do know me because of the content that I post. They feel like I'm a approachable person. So my advice to answer your question, I know I kind of cut off a little bit,
It's
um,
all good.
but my advice would be to be active on it, to, to post multiple stories every day, post at least one to two posts on your news feed. Now, it doesn't have to be all real estate. If you're into cooking, post the things that you're
Hmm.
cooking. If you're into fitness, post fit, whatever it is. If you're a family guy, post your daughter like you do, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
thank you.
Because what end up happening, when you start posting your personal life, you're gonna attract like-minded people. You
Yeah,
know, you might attract other fathers that maybe one day, um, you know, their wife is having a second child now. Congratulations, by the way, Sean.
appreciate it, brother.
Um, but you know, things like that, you know, and now they're looking to buy a house, but they know this guy's also a family man. This guy
Hmm.
has a daughter. You know what? Let me reach out to Sean because I feel like he would understand what I'm going through right now. With then I need to, you know, upsize whatever the case
Yeah,
may be. But
there's an audience
but
for everything. That's what I tell people too. There's a if you
everything,
like it, there's I won't say, but there's thousands of other people that like the same thing that
everything,
you do. If you like pets, post your pets. Post your
absolutely,
family,
yeah.
post your
So
vacations.
yeah, and I don't my goal on social media particularly is to make human connections before a business connection because that goes much further, and that's why I incorporate, you know, my personal life, my hobbies and interests outside of doing home inspections, and I feel like that's what's made me been able to attract more people outside of just
Of course.
how
Because if you're
life
going to
picture
feed in this
works.
all business, 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 it gets boring after a while.
It's boring,
Yeah, you can't do that
completely, you know.
24/7. It got to be some
Yeah,
type of personal
you
life.
know. Yeah, so I feel like, and then plus because of my personality, you know, I do post humorous things every now and then because I like adding shock value too. You know, there's there's a difference between adding, you know, informative value, you know, things to look out for. In my case, you know, whether it's heating or things like that. But then for shock value, I'll post something completely funny that's not even inspection related,
Hmm.
just so I can make people laugh too. Because let's face it, we all work hard. We all sometimes have stressful days, long days. I think if I can make someone like scroll through one of my posts and they laugh, then mission accomplished, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So, and I always say document the struggle too. Document it all, man.
Oh yeah. That's
Document the
yeah. So
struggle.
that's yeah. So that's why I make it a priority to like really capture my grinding phase. I typically do that just through my stories because someone who doesn't know me, who is not following me, if I post if I post my grind on my news feed, they
Hmm.
might not. I feel like they might not know that I'm a home inspector. So I utilize the whole story platform for more of my personal for people who are already following me, who kind of know me already. So that's another piece of advice that I would you know, give as well. But yeah, I definitely post what time I'm waking up until what time I'm going to bed. So you guys know like everything that I'm working towards, like I put the work in. Like
Hmm.
I don't post motivational quotes and you know the you know what's one of them like uh fear is on the other side of or some whatever it is like one of those things, but I don't post any of that. I post actions and actions only.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I used to before I started doing videos, I used to do the motivational quotes too because I'm like, I have somebody like it.
Yeah, but actions not captions.
Actions, not captions. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, of
Actions, not captions. Um, oh man, yo, Mike. I appreciate you, man. I'm
course.
trying to think if I missed anything. I don't think so. Is there anything that you want to add that you want to just give out to anyone listening? Like
Yeah,
where can
sure.
everyone find you? We're mentioning your Instagram. We didn't even give you your handle. What is your Instagram handle?
So on Facebook it's my name, Michael Totino, and on Instagram it is safety first HI underscore. And on those platforms, you'll just see me post daily tips about, whether it's safety tips, maintenance tips on your house. And for those who are looking to hire a home inspector, whoever it is that you do hire, just do your background search, make sure that they have a platform online, and not even just home inspectors, any person that, whether real estate agent, anyone, definitely just do your background search, because what's been happening to me a few times is that people will, shop around for home inspectors, which is understandable, and they end up going with the cheapest guy,
Yeah.
and they're not even recommended, but they're literally a difference of like $50,
Mhm.
and they
Cheaper is
find
not
out the
always
hard way.
better. Spend the
They
money.
find out the hard way, yeah, where
Mhm.
like now after they close, that this person wasn't informative and they missed a few things. So just do your background, checks with people who you decide to
Yeah.
hire.
And go off sometimes your agent. Go for who your agent refers. I mean, we always have your
That
best
too.
interest
Yeah.
at heart. Yeah, and if your agent is diligent, they're going to tell you, listen, spend the extra, like you say, sometimes it's 25, 30, $50.
Even
That
if
can
it's a
save you
hundred.
thousands of dollars over the
Yeah.
lifetime of that home.
And I want to put a myth to rest that you know, some buyers will contact me directly because they feel like sometimes home inspectors that are referred from realtors, they're not going to mention certain things because they don't want to kill a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell you this: the real estate agents that I work with, none of them would ever do that, and they actually value when I do find things to represent our client. So I want to put that to rest, because those type of realtors I wouldn't even work with. So
Yeah, I tell people to walk away if it's something that
yeah, yep,
to walk away from it. It's not, you'll always find another house. And
absolutely,
don't
yeah.
waive your inspection contingent. Do not waive the
I saw
inspection.
the video. You
Yo,
posted a
bro.
video about that.
And it's crazy because people are doing it left and right now. Like, oh, I won't even do the inspection. You will do the
And it comes
inspection.
to haunt them a month after him moving the house. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Crazy.
another thing about Mike. Mike is, like I said, Mike is a big motivational guy. Mike is actually teaching himself Spanish, which is
Yeah, so
amazing. And I saw the
I've been
videos. And Mike is doing a lot of collab videos as well. But I saw a video that
yeah,
you did the whole video in Spanish.
full, yeah. So just to touch base on that, so I wanted to dive into the Hispanic community because I'm very big into challenges. And for those who may not know, I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I know a lot more than I could speak. But there's no excuse. There's always room to learn another language to improve yourself in any way in your life. And yeah, I started practicing Rosetta Stone, and the real estate agent that I did the video with, we literally had Zoom meetings like every other night, practicing over and
Really?
over until we had the whole thing memorized in one shot.
How
So
long did it take you to memorize that script?
dozens of times, bro. Like
Really?
I had to, like, because she's already fluent. So by the time we hopped on the Zoom meeting, I had to practice my own stuff by myself just to be at her level.
Yeah.
So on my end, yeah, it was every night. And I'm doing a second video in Spanish coming. I'm working on that script now, so that should be coming out soon.
Nice. Did you feel like it was just a demo that was just undervalued at that point that made you start
Not,
doing Spanish, or
yeah,
was it like a
not,
personal journey for you?
yeah. It's a combination of both. I do feel like you know that is a demographic that I feel like is underserviced, and not only that, um I want to make myself recession proof, and
Mm,
I want to make myself, adding so much value, and having so many options to serve, different communities any way I can. So if I feel like, if I dive into that community, then that's just another thing that I could add to my personal portfolio.
that was a big thing that you just said, recession proof. Wow.
Oh
I never
yeah,
thought of that. I never thought of that.
you have, listen. in this day and age, you have to make yourself recession proof. So, like I said, if it takes learning another language, then whatever it takes.
Yeah, man, that's good, man. That's wow. I never thought of that. So you're always thinking to the future, which is, like I said, you're changing. You are in your own like world right now when it comes to home inspections. You know that. I see.
Appreciate that.
I'm starting to see a lot of people like go the route that you're going. It's not the same, no, but I'm starting to see more home inspectors get into it, which no knock to them. No knock to them. I was
More
just going to
power
say
to them.
something. I'll let you finish what you was going to say.
No, more power to them.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of recession proof, what is your 5-year goal? What's next for safety first home inspection?
Well, my 5-year goal, just regarding my inspection business, is I definitely want to franchise safety first. But like I said, that I want to learn the business more first before I do that, and then start hiring and training people and adding value to the home inspection industry. And outside of that, my other 5-year goal, my goal outside of inspections is I'm going to start buying and holding properties as well. So I want to start, creating that portfolio too. I already started this year. I hired a real estate coach, and
I saw that.
yeah. So he actually coached my mentor. So he's basically my mentor's mentor. So
Nice.
when your mentor recommends somebody to coach you, you don't ask any questions. You sign on the dotted line and say, "That's where I'm going." So that's it.
Okay, that's nice, man. What are you doing? A few classes a week, or you just?
So we actually do one Zoom meeting every month, but within the month, he basically gives us homework to whether it's applying for rental permits. We have to get our team in order. We have to start marketing. So he gives us a list of things that we have to do every month. So like
Nice.
it's pretty intense.
That's nice, man. For a guy that's as busy as you, so you're busy with home inspections. You're going crazy. What are you doing? Like two a day at average?
Yeah.
Doing 2 a day. You're learning Spanish on your own.
Yeah.
You're waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, reading a book a day for the most part. For what it looks like, you're reading a few books a day. So, Mike is motivation. So you have no excuse for anything if Mike is doing all of this stuff in a day or two, during his journey. So that's definitely inspirational, man.
I want to say this. There's there's a few videos that I've seen on YouTube that have changed my life. You ever seen something, whether it's from a movie or there's a part of a song that just sticks out, and for some reason it just connects with you? One of them, I watch this video. I watch this video every Sunday morning because that's when I typically do like my run at like 4:30 in the morning, which no one wants. Listen, no one wants to get up at that time and go running, if anything, right?
Yeah.
There's a video of Mike Tyson waking up at 4 a.m. and you hear his voice say, "No one wants to get up at 4 a.m. and go running when it's pitch dark out, but it has to be done." That last part, but it has to be done, for some reason stuck with me. Like, no matter what is part of your grind, your goal, if you don't feel like doing it, it still has to be done.
Yeah.
Somebody and that part kind of stuck with me. Like, you know what? I got to get out of my head saying, but I'm tired, but it has to be done.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Good stuff, man. So I have to look up that Mike Tyson, that was it, like a
4 a.m.
documentary?
Yeah.
Or it's a documentary, or it's just clips of Mike Tyson?
It's a clip of him training, but it starts out at 4 a.m. He's getting out of bed, and then by 4:30, he's already running on the street.
Yeah, that's what the greats do. The greats have a regiment, so you have to, you have to do something. If you don't do it, somebody else, your competition is going to do it. So exactly. Go for it. What keeps you motivated, Mike? What keeps you going?
I would say multiple things. One, when when I get those messages, like, because of you, I'm waking up earlier to better myself. You know, you're really showing me that, you know, I've been sleeping in, wasting time. You know, when I get messages like that, that definitely motivates me. That's one. Two, when you hit milestones. Now, when I mean milestone, it could be something small. Like, let's say you want to lose 10 pounds and you just lost 1 pound. That's a milestone,
Hmm.
in my opinion.
Celebrate
Um,
the small wins. Yeah.
all the time you have to, yeah, because what ends up happening is when you hit these small milestones, you want to see what else is next, what else, you know. And then I just feel like when you set the bar high, it gives every day a purpose to go towards that goal. Now, you know, if you don't have any goals, you're going to basically just drift around life, just kind of just not having any, you know,
Yeah.
ha- having any purpose, I feel like,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm. Very true. Yeah.
But
You have to give yourself some daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, some 5 year,
yeah,
2 to 5 year goals, whatever you need that's going to keep you motivated. Go for it.
I'll give you
Definitely.
the perfect example of little, like, something small that compounded into something big. So last year, when I decided to, like, learn Spanish and practice Rosetta Stone, that compounded those little tests that I would do 20 minutes every night, nothing big, and that resulted in literally 2 weeks ago I went to a Spanish speaking country by myself,
Yeah,
just
I
off of
saw
that
that.
alone, by myself. Now, that's,
How was
in
that?
my
How was
opinion,
it?
that's a pretty big deal for someone learning a second language. Like,
Yeah.
but that's just a result, Sean, of just time blocking every day, little, you know, actions every day, little this, little. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Until
How was
one
that?
day,
How was it when you went out there? Did you
it was
pick up like
amazing, man.
with the natives?
I intentionally stayed at a Airbnb around locals, not at the resort where everyone speaks English, you know. And I had to navigate from taxis to restaurants to you name it, you know.
Yeah.
I had to kind of just make it work, which
Wow.
I did. You know?
I'm telling you, Mr. Motivation, man. You need to like wear that like a badge of honor across your chest. Mr. Motivation.
Whatever it takes, man.
Yeah, man. Keep doing it, man. Keep doing it, bro. Mike is killing it. I appreciate you, man. We got to do some
Likewise.
collab videos together soon. Um,
Absolutely.
we got to get Matt on the phone. We both use the same videographer, by the way. Matt Art Visual. Shout out to Matt.
Yes.
I think you were actually with him today. But
Yes, I was.
yeah, man, we got to do some stuff together, bro. Like I said, you keep me motivated. I appreciate
Thank you.
everything that you do, man. Keep going forward. The sky's the limit. I can't wait to see Safety First as like you said. I can't wait to see you brand it into a franchise. You're setting the
One
bar
day.
way high for all the franchisees.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, man, go for it, bro. Go for it, man. And whenever the next dinner is, let me in. Count me in. I'll definitely be
Yes.
there.
At the end of this month, you better be there because you didn't make the last one. I didn't forget that. You were busy.
Nah, I'll be there.
I
I'll
didn't
definitely
forget.
be there this go around. I'm there, bro. I
Sounds good,
appreciate you,
bro.
man. Thanks for stopping by the podcast.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me, Sean.
All right, bro.